Hello, good evening, and welcome to Iron Port here on Metropolitan Television. Iron Port is proudly brought to you in association with the Ghana Revenue Authority, Goyle Company Limited, Ghana Link Network Services, the operators of the Integrated Customs Management System, ICOMS at the port. It's also brought to you by Serene Insurance and indeed Meridian Port Services, MPS. The show is powered by the Ghana Port and Harbours Authority, GPHA. Indeed, we shall along the line get interactive with you, and so what you can do is to send us your messages and comments via our dedicated WhatsApp line, which is 0559019177, 0559019177. At the appropriate time, when I pick signals from our production team, we shall activate the phone lines for you to call in and contribute to the discussion. Our media partner on this journey of your lifetime, as usual, is the Business and Financial Times, the BNFT. And so if you want to have a grasp of all that transpired in the show tonight, make a date and grab a Thursday edition of the BNFT. And you'll be able to see all that happened here on the show tonight. We are streaming live on our social media pages. On Facebook, we are streaming live at Ghana Port and Harbours Authority. Ghana Port and Harbours Authority. Still on Facebook, we are streaming live at Port of Tema. Port of Tema. And on YouTube, we are streaming live at Iron Port Ghana. Iron Port Ghana. My name is Kennedy Mona. We are going for a quick break. When we bounce back, we'll continue the show. Please do stay with us.
Every now and again, Goyle makes good things happen. This time, Goyle has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. Goyle Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. Goyle Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. Goyle Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with Goyle Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. Goyle has that sorted. Goyle, good energy.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Tell God, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water. Or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Impressive factory. If only I had listened to you, I wouldn't have been in this mess. That devastating fire virtually wiped out the whole factory and my warehouse.
Remember my misfortunes last year? Serene Insurance Asset All Risk Fire policy that I took were there to pay for my damaged stocks in the warehouse, and my machines that were affected by the floods have been replaced. My accident vehicle is back on the road thanks to Serene Insurance Motor Policy. Currently, my goods are on the high seas, covered with their marine cargo insurance policy. I was just telling Ajima about Serene Insurance.
Oh, Ajima,
tell him more.
As a road contractor, I make sure I do my contractors all risk insurance
for the projects and then workers' compensation for all the workers on site. With Serene Insurance, they will make sure they will cover your unknown tomorrow today.
Serene Insurance, a new face of insurance. Call us now.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
All right, so you're welcome back. It's now time for us to take a look at happenings in the port and shipping industry in the course of the week. And indeed, during the week, the Port Management Association of West and Central Africa's Board of Directors and Harbour Masters met in the port of Tema in a series of their meetings. We'll bring you details of that particular encounter, plus the fact that the port of TAKORADI has also marked World Environment Day. We'll bring that particular story, and there's a prediction of reduction in cargo traffic of between 20 and 25%. Let's take a look at the details of these stories.
Over 45 delegates made up of board of directors and harbour masters from various ports within the West and Central African sub-region during the week assembled in Tema, Ghana to exchange knowledge and deepen collaboration towards improved management of ports amid current industry trends. Under the auspices of the Ports Management Association of West and Central Africa, this year's 3-day meeting of harbour masters and port facility security officers network was the 7th in the series. Discussions centered mainly on environmental sustainability, building resilience of ports in West and Central Africa, as well as safety and security issues. The president of PIMWOCA and director general of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Michael Lugoje, underscored the importance of collaboration to overcome industry challenges.
Even before resilience, the focus was on sustainability. Are we going to continue with time burning fossil fuels? The global space says no. Every single industry is looking forward to renewables, clean energy. That is still on the table, and resilience has come to our plate. So the challenges remain, but we are going to work together and ensure we are able to meet those challenges for the betterment of our own economies.
Board chairman of GPHA, Isaac OHSE, in a speech read on his behalf, urged the various delegates to share experiences of issues related to their functions for the furtherance of ports and the maritime industry.
The harbour masters are also expected during their deliberations to share their experience on issues related to their functions, cooperation agreements between ports and with national and regional bodies to improve safety and security and protection of the maritime environment. These, ladies and gentlemen, are indeed very important matters that require complete and unfettered attention, as they are the pivot around which smooth operations of member ports will revolve.
The Secretary General of PIMWOCA, Jean-Marie Kofi, urged harbour masters to play their roles in the fight against piracy in the Gulf of Guinea.
They are the one who drive the ships in our water. They are the one who knows who is coming in our water. You know that the port is also a border. So you have to be sure that everything we are doing is safe, is secure. So for this reason, they have to play the role to fight the piracy in our waters. And when they will fight the piracy in our waters, that means that the insurance cost will be low. Because of these challenges, the insurance cost is really higher for all the stakeholders and the port maritime affairs in our region.
At the MPS Terminal 3 in the port of Tema, the delegation was briefed on the efficient systems in place to drive international trade.
We wanted and envisaged that we will have once more, not automated, but rather digitalized process. And we said that drivers will come with their fingerprints to collect a container from us, and only their fingerprints. And from the onset, we have achieved that. Literally today, a truck driver drives into MPS only with his fingerprints. No paper in his hand, nothing.
The Director General of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority is the latest to lament the consequences of the Russia-Ukraine war on international trade. According to the DG of GPHA, grain imports have taken a hit due to the reliance on that region for Ghana's grain requirements. Michael Lugoje, who is also the president of the Ports Management Association of West and Central Africa, was speaking on the sidelines of the meeting of harbour masters and FPSOs network in Tema, Ghana.
If I use just wheat as one of the key commodities that came from the shippers themselves, the information they are giving to us is that represents between 20 to 25% of the where they were importing from Ukraine and Russia, fertilizer. So if they now have to look for alternative sources of supply. And that is not a very easy thing. So they themselves have issues as to that. And if you are going to alternative sources, you probably will be importing at a higher cost, which will force you to reduce the quantities you would have ordinarily imported. So for now, we are as anticipating that we might have drops to up to about 20-25% in those bulk cargoes that were coming from those regions. But we need to inch close to the year and really be able to measure the true numbers in terms of what is going to drop.
The GPHA boss also called for measures to be implemented to strengthen resilience of African ports and shipping industry in order to avoid future shocks that may emerge.
That resilient aspect of it is to say that now in every planning that you have, you need to always factor in the extreme opposite of what you expect. And that extreme opposite is that you could wake up the next morning and you can't even step into your office. How do you survive? And also all the other remote-related arrangements like ICT and digitalization to ensure that if you can get out of your room, you can still work. If you can't get out of your room, you can still ensure your ports are operating and open to business.
The Minister of Transport, Kuku Fori-Siama, has revealed that the cabotage law, which aims at getting many Ghanaian seafarers employed, has been passed by Parliament. Speaking at the 2022 Day of the Seafarer, a Deputy Minister of Transport, Asan Tampoli, who spoke on behalf of the sector minister, said the law reserves 50% for all officers and 75% of all rating vessels operating within Ghana's maritime jurisdiction to Ghanaian seafarers.
I am happy to report that the Ghana Shipping Cabotage Regulations 2021 LI 2438 has been passed by Parliament. As we build the requisite capacity and increase our seafarer workforce, these percentages will be increased for the country's benefit. As a sector ministry, we shall continue to provide the necessary direction to ensure this is successful.
About 1.9 million people work as seafarers globally. Out of this number, Ghana currently has some 5,000 persons trained and registered as seafarers on their books, which constitutes about 0.25% of the global seafarer supply. Asan Tampoli stated that Ghana is in a unique position to increase a market share of the supply of seafarers as the country strives to ensure that the rights of Ghanaian seafarers are clearly defined as required in the Maritime Labour Convention.
And I'm extremely glad that the GMA has initiated steps to make seafaring a career of choice for our teeming youth. It is a timely policy as it will benefit both the individual and our country. For the individual, it is a career that provides a solid foundation for life and offers endless opportunities to learn and develop.
The Director General of the Ghana Maritime Authority, Thomas Alonsi, said the authority has licensed seafarer recruitment and placement service providers to ensure that the recruitment and placement of seafarers is well regulated.
It is also to protect seafarers from unscrupulous service providers and to protect their wages and other benefits under the Maritime Labour Convention. Seafarer recruitment and placement providers who blatantly abuse the rights of seafarers risk being sanctioned by not having their licenses renewed, among other measures.
The director of the port of TAKORADI, Captain Ebenezer Afedzi, has advised shippers to deal with licensed or certified waste management companies to handle their waste in the port. According to him, GPHA has licensed certified waste management companies with the capacity to handle all types of waste in the marine environment. Hence, the need to ensure proper waste management, which is key to a healthy environment. Speaking at an event to mark the World Environment Week celebration, Captain Afedzi urged all stakeholders to be mindful of the waste they dispose into the sea and on land.
GPHA has licensed per regulation with licensed some companies to collect the waste. They are licensed and they have a better way, the approved way of disposing that waste. So I want to appeal to shipping agents here. Do not pass your waste from your vessels to private individuals or people who do not have the means to dispose of the waste very well.
The harbour master at the port of TAKORADI, Captain James Richmond Quason, said, as an ISO certified port, there is the need to collaborate with stakeholders to achieve the goals set and maintain the successes chalked over the years and not to lose the port certification.
The OHSE has evolved over the years as a direct derivative of the ISO, okay? And as such, we are complying. So when you meet anybody who is trying to check you with the port, because we have to comply. But we have set the standards and we will not do anything negative to make sure our standards come down.
The port, as part of the week-long celebration, embarked on a cleanup exercise at New TAKORADI, the community which hosts the port. Meanwhile, the port of TAKORADI, as part of the week-long celebration, ended with a tree planting activity at the New TAKORADI Methodist Primary School. The tree planting was made possible through a collaboration with Forestry Commission, who provided the seedlings for the trees. Captain Ebenezer Afedzi, the director of port, performed the symbolic first tree planting to commence the event. In all, over 100 trees were planted on that day. Some youth in Ghana have undergone a training workshop that aims to position them for success under the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. The half-day workshop, organized by the International Trade Center through its YEA community and local partners, sought to highlight critical elements of the AFTA and how they can benefit from it. The program also helped create a space that will enable the youth share experiences and learn from each other in order to participate competitively within the free market. After consultants with Frontier Market Advisors, Dode Seido, took the participants through the basic principles of the free trade agreement.
We started as a continent trying to unite, trying to come together as one continent. But that was not successful. As the argument at the time when we became independent African states, the argument at the time was, why don't we focus on our individual countries and not necessarily have to come together because we just come out from colonial rule.
Executive Director of the AFTA Policy Network Group, Louis Yao Afo, noted the significance of youth for Africa's trading objectives.
You have 50% of the young people or the population of Africa making the youth. How can you leave such a people out of a big agreement like that in the first place? You have about 70% of trade in the informal sector, and women are the ones who are taking off. How can you leave them right from the beginning? So it has not been easy going back to them for them to have this as a protocol. Currently, it is not a protocol.
He revealed that the AFTA Secretariat is securing funds from the African Development Bank to create an internship program for the youth to develop their capacities so far as AFTA is concerned.
All right, so those were some happenings in the port and shipping industry in the course of the week. It's now time for us to zoom into our discussion proper tonight. And you heard a story about the Harbour Masters Network and the Board of Directors of the Port Management Association West and Central Africa. They assembled and held their meetings concurrently in the port city of Tema during the week. And the Harbour Masters, per se, took 3 days to deliberate on issues. They took stock of where they are now, where they are coming from, where they are now, and what the future holds for them. And they've made some recommendations. Tonight, we're going to be examining how we can build resilient ports to stimulate economic growth in West and Central Africa. So it gives me pleasure to introduce to you in the studios tonight Captain James Captain James Quason. Captain James Quason is the Harbour Master for the Port of TAKORADI. He's also the president of the Harbour Masters Network of the Port Management Association West and Central Africa. Good evening, Captain, and welcome, sir. Thank you. Well, absolutely, sure. We also have Captain Daniel Quote, who is the Deputy Harbour Master Port of Tema, also joining us in the studios. And along the line, we shall be joined, hopefully. Okay, I understand we have been joined by the Secretary General of the Ports Maritime Association West and Central Africa, Ports Management Association West and Central Africa, Jean-Marie Kofi, who is joining us via Zoom. We shall be speaking to him as well. And so these are the three gentlemen we are doing the discussion with tonight. Right. Okay, so I will thank you very much and ask you to stay. And when I come back, I would want to find out from you, Mr. Secretary General, what your Secretariat is doing to get these issues that you just enumerated addressed. But let me come back to Captain James Quason. We are telling you to tell us your journey so far as a seafarer and what the role of seafarers is.
Thank you very much for the question. And we
want to appreciate your viewers. Anybody watching us from over the globe, we appreciate them at this moment.
Absolutely.
We also appreciate the management of Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, our Director General and management, my Director of Port of TAKORADI, and the team in TAKORADI. I also appreciate my team, Marine in TAKORADI Port. They are solid behind me, and then we perform to deliver on our goals. Yeah, my journey started somewhere. Although my grandfather was a fisherman, but I'm told later on that he was a bosun. One of the days, a bosun. One of the days where at the Dempster and those ships, palm line, they stop off the coast of Cape Coast, they offload into canoes, and they come and discharge ashore. That is how I think I got my seafaring idea from. I was told later on. But I met one young guy whom I was sharing a room with after my O-levels. He mentioned to me life on the ship in Lagos. Apparently, he went to Lagos to hustle, and they were hustling in Lagos port. So that is where he was talking about how the ship is. And then when I read science, so I was going to write my June exams. By those time, we had just finished our vacation classes, and I realized that my preparation is not enough to meet the June exams, Those time, the A-levels. So I went to my brother at Takusumbu to ask for money to register for November as a backup. Then on my way to Winnipeg, then I met one guy who saw me reading my short notes. And he said, "Oh, you are reading science?" I said, "Yes." So there's this school at Nautical College where they do marine course. I said, "Oh, really? Okay. Then I'll consider that when I get to school." My initial intention was to do marine engineering because I was a science student, do mechanical engineering, and then do marine engineering as a second degree. But when I went to school, I met one of my friends who happened to be living in Tema. I shared my experience with the guy on the bus with him, and he said, "Oh, there's a school in Ungwa, you can do that course." Okay. Then I shared with my friends. I had some good friends who were there residing at Airport Residential. They were fanatics of air navigation, pilot because of the airport area. So I shared my idea. I said, "Oh, no. Yeah, okay, good." So when National Service posting came, I was going to tell them that, "Oh, I'm going to do service way by in the 4th region." When they told me, "Oh, Captain, James," and then I was James. "Your school have advertised." I said, "Oh, really?" They said, "Yes." Okay, then
so
I went home, did my... By which time, I've not even seen my A-level exam results, okay? But when I saw the advert, I saw there was skippers, there were O-level requirements, which I know I was sure I've qualified those ones, and there were other ones for A-levels. I went to check my results at Legon, BAMS Library. It was good. Not the best, but it was good.
So you applied?
Then I went for my transcript and then applied. Apparently, I have to go to the school myself. In my anxiety, I joined the bus from Tema Station, which was going to Ashiama. So I have to alight somewhere, current position of Sakmono Junction. And I have to come back and run all the way. I got to the school and then I applied. By that time, all the schools were on vacation, the students were on strike or something, so a lot of students applied. Navigation, I was 1,900 and something. Engineering, I was 2,000 something. But destiny had it that I qualified.
So you sailed through.
I passed the entry examination, went for the interview, and they selected 5 of us as main course, and then 5 on standby. That's how come I chose. The guy told me about navigation and engineering, so they navigated. They were white, they're on the bridge, so I choose that one rather, yes.
So the rest, they say, is history.
Yes, the rest is all history, yes.
Absolutely. All right, so tell us the importance of a seafarer.
A seafarer, globalization has brought about trade, and trade is maritime. Globalization has brought about trade, and trade is maritime. The bulk of goods travel by sea. So the seafarer is a very key person in the transport chain. If you want a pandemic strike, they declare the seafarers as essential workers. Without the seafarer, the ships will not move.
Absolutely.
Tankers, bulk carriers, name them. They are all manned by competent seafarers. The world geography, there are some places where the sea is open, some places the sea is closed, and as such, we need competent men to man those ships, and the seafarers are very, very important. Very important in the global chain of business.
Okay. Let me come to Captain Korte. I would have loved you to also tell us your journey so far, but because of time constraints, I just want you to tell us what the role of a harbour master is. Because you guys met in the 7th of the series of network meetings, and then which we are delving into. So I just want to tell you to tell us who a Harbour Master is.
Thank you, Eddie. My greetings to your viewers, wherever you are watching from. We appreciate you. I also wish to appreciate the DG, the DP, the general managers of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, and my marine team back in Tema.
Right.
For us mariners, we play a team. You cannot work isolated.
Yeah.
So the emphasis on the Harbour Master is to ensure that the safety of the port is at its forefront. He maintains security of the port, and he ensures that the port runs sufficiently and professionally. Because a lot of things can happen in a port.
Yeah.
Because it's an exit and an entry point.
Right.
Voyages can be planned in the offices elsewhere. Ships are very complex. But a real voyage starts from a port and it ends in a port.
Right.
And a port is managed by a harbour master.
Yeah.
So it is for him to ensure that all the protocols, all the laws, all the conventions are complied with by the ships that comes under his command. Because he is actually in charge of the port and all the ships within. So whether it is an emergency by way of safety or by way of security or what, he is in charge. And he enforces a court's order to arrest a ship or detain a ship. That is as far as he can go.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's awesome. Captain Kwasin, let me come to you and find out. Tell us about the Harbour Masters, Pimoka Harbour Masters Network. You are the president.
Yeah, I'm humbled to be the president.
Yes.
Yes. Bernard, Kennedy,
Yes.
yeah. Bernard have taken my mind.
I know.
Kennedy.
Yes.
Pimoka is a port management association of West and Central Africa.
Yes.
And when our current DG was the Secretary General,
Yes.
he saw the need. When safety and security issues are tabled at Pimoka, they are not addressed properly. So he created the Harbour Masters and PFSS network, which have been running for some time now. Under Pimoka, my network, we deliberate on safety and security issues. Ghana, by virtue of Kwame Nkrumah set up a marine school in Ghana, we are bound in marine resources, personnel.
Yeah.
So when we go to Pimoka and then our friends from the Francophone countries, they are not so fortunate like to have marine men.
Yeah.
But from GPHA, since the white people left, Harbour Masters have always been Ghanaians and they have been seasoned mariners, master mariners who understand the ships and understand how the ship interfaces with the port.
Right.
As my colleague said, voyages are planned, but they commence from a port and end in the port. That is when the voyage is done.
Yeah.
So Harbour Masters Network, it was formed to share best practices. The challenges abound. Ships call. I always say the ship will call West Africa. He will call about 2 or 3 ports: Dakar, Abidjan, Tema, and end up in Lagos. So know that, and then the marine environment is common to all these countries.
Yeah.
And as such, challenges are common.
Absolutely.
And as such, when we share best practices, when we share ideas, when we collaborate, it is in our own interest.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Captain Kote, you took part in the just ended meeting of the Harbour Masters Network, and some of the issues that came up you are privy to because you sat through the meetings, and you drafted some recommendations. I don't want to call it resolution, recommendations at the end of the day, which the president read out, and shared with the rest of the world. Can you tell us some of the challenges that militates against your work as Harbour Masters in West and Central Africa?
Over the period, let's say, sometime before 1992, when a ship is at sea and has issues with security, there is nowhere for us to run to.
Right.
But the International Maritime Bureau was set up, and it is housed in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. On that same premise, we got faced with a challenge within the region, that is piracy. And these things come about through various ways.
Right.
We are talking about insecurity, piracy, illegal bunkering, stowaways, armed robbery at sea, unregulated and uninformed fishing, IUU, and the likes.
Yeah.
these things are planned on the shore, and they end up at sea.
Yeah.
So the whole region became insecure, and we came into the limelight. So there was supposed to be a solution to that. So I think the heads of states of ECOWAS and ECAS. And
ECAS, can you tell us what it is?
ECAS is the Central African component of ECOWAS. ECOWAS is for West Africa.
Right.
ECAS is for Central Africa. Yeah.
Sure.
So the heads of states and the Gulf of Guinea Commission, they met in Yaoundé in 2013, June. And out of that meeting, there was a head of states declaration.
Right.
There was also a code of conduct. All was to fight this maritime insecurity, because that is where we have our livelihood.
Right.
Once ships are not comfortable, they will not call your ports.
Yeah.
If they don't call your ports, GPHA will not have money to pay me and him.
Yeah.
So we have to ensure that sanity prevails.
Yeah.
So out of this, there was an interregional coordination committee that was formed, right. ICC. Throughout this ICC, ECAS had Chris Mayo, that is the Regional Maritime Center for Coordinating Maritime Security.
Right.
Then we also had CRISMAC. Okay. Out of these two, we had 5 zones. 5 zones were formed. Maritime multinational coordinating centers were formed, okay, along the region, from Angola all the way to Cabo Verde, Senegal.
Right.
So the first, which was region Zone A is housed in Angola. Zone D, it's in Cameroon.
Right.
Zone E is in Benin.
Right.
Zone F is in Ghana.
Okay.
At the castle.
Yeah.
Then Zone F, which is the last, is supposed to be in Cabo Verde.
Okay.
That is the only one which has not been initiated. But all these 4 other zones are up and running.
Right.
Okay? And they are supposed to share and coordinate maritime security training and enforcement of security within the region, so that you cannot have any escape.
Yeah.
We have had a lot of collaborations between us.
Yeah.
For example, a ship can leave Togo with an insecurity. The harbour master will quickly notify the harbour master of Tema. I have a ship moving from this port, coming towards you. The navies who are actually the MOCs manning will set out to go and look at this insecurity and make sure that they keep them. If they're able to come into our waters, then we also need to share the information that, hey, they are here.
Absolutely.
Then we raise the necessary guys to go and apprehend and solve the situations. So, as a harbour master, most of the challenges that you face, one is this. The other one is the safety of your port. Like I told you, voyages start from a port and end in the port.
Right.
A ship would have sailed maybe for weeks, for months, over an ocean passage.
Yeah.
Rough seas, bad weather, no good food, looking at the same people throughout the voyage. Some you don't even want to see, but you have to, because that is the environment you found yourself. After all this sweat, he comes into your anchorage and he wants to enter into port, and the pilot goes there and something happens. You will never be comfortable in your seat. So once you are told, oh, Captain, there is a ship scheduled to take bed 13, all that you are looking out for is the Deputy Harbour Master Operations or the Chief Pilot will detail his pilot to make sure that he brings the ship safely into port. Once she's docked, everybody is relieved. Then the port operators will now come to work their cargo. But before they do that, immigration, customs, and all port health, everybody will come on board to ensure that all is well. They have satisfied all other necessary requirements, like there is no sick person on board and all that stuff. Their cargo working gears are good so that you can avoid accidents and all that stuff. Even with this COVID, you know, our ports were never closed. And we worked throughout. We worked throughout. So these are some of the challenges that you have to overcome to ensure that, look, your office runs perfectly.
Awesome. Awesome. I'll be coming to you, Captain Kwesing, and for you to share again with us some of the recommendations you made. I know one is that you are recommending that we should have armed guards in merchant fishing vessels, you know, to protect you and all that, to protect the crew, as it were. But let me go online again and speak to Monsieur Kofi Oh, okay, I understand he's off. I will try and work him out again and then bring him so that he will tell us what steps his secretariat, that's the PIMOCA secretariat, is taking to address the challenges that he himself catalogued a while ago whilst he had the opportunity. So I'll come to you, Captain Kwasin, and find out from you some of the recommendations you made.
Yeah, results of insecurity in our region was creating challenges for the seafarers. I always maintain that the seafarer has the right to his life. He is working on board a ship to earn wages and go home. So under no circumstance should anybody take his life.
Right.
I've been there before. I found myself somewhere in East Malaysia, in the jungle, and I came back safe. Oh. Here I am today. So if a seafarer from Indonesia, from China, come and work in our region, nobody should take his life. His life is not for the ship owner. His life is for the family. So piracy became rampant in our water. Piracy or armed robbery, as you say, rampant in our waters. And as such, it became a challenge for ship operators. You know, a ship owner, when the bridge is declared unsecure, it will increase your insurance.
Yes.
Insurance, my brother, is not paid in Ghana. Insurance is paid either in Denmark, Copenhagen, or paid in London, or Hong Kong, or Singapore. And as such, when the premiums are high, we lose. But the ship owner will not take that premium and go home. If you find a way of melting it down to the destination ports. So, Harbour Masters, we are recipients of the vessels. As my brother said, vessels end up important. The captains, the ship crew lament. You know, as Harbour Masters, we are working for the Port Authority, but we are waiting for the ships to come, for the Port Authority to make the money. And when the ships cannot come into the waters and arrive at the port safely, and being seafarers, we really appreciate the challenge they're having. That is why we're trying to solve the issue. So multinationals try to solve the issue for us. In our deliberations, we realize that various ports have done a lot. You know, our network is about common experience sharing. Various countries have done a lot by way of providing extra security on board vessels in their waters. And the multinationals also sitting somewhere, so try to deploy armed gas into our waters, which the network said no. Especially Nigeria, they don't accept an armed ship into their waters, where it is manned by foreigners. So we realize that no, what various ports have done is good, but we should have a better way of PIMOCA having a common position that vessels will arrive and they are safe in our water. We know the waters, they are safe, and as such, they can do business in our ports. So we are happy to know what Chris Moore is doing now. Chris Moore and then Chris Mark. As the president, I was very delighted when I shared that document, when that document was shared with me. They are doing a master job. When they protect the domain. So you can go there, but you are sure that when you come back, somebody will be waiting for you. You cannot run away from Lome waters and come to Ghana waters and go free. Somebody will be waiting for you. That is the best they've done so far. And we pray that this thing will be sustained. When it's sustained, armed robbery at sea, IUU, unregulated, unreported fishing. You know, our region abounds in marine resources, illegal bunkering. We have some multinationals who come and bunker the ships at sea. And when the fishing vessels, you know these giant fishing boats, some of them are very giant, they are factories. So they come into our waters, catch our fish is very natural fish, and can it and ship it to supermarkets. So when these things are all well policed, we've been calling for Coast Guard, but it was a little expensive for the region. And then what Chris Moore and Chris Mark is doing is bravo, it's good. It will protect the domain. And then when this is promulgated to IMO, and the ship owners know that the region is safe, the premium will go down, the insurance will go down, and then it will result in better life for the people, I'm sure.
All right. Okay. Those are not all the recommendations
At
you're
all.
sharing with
We
us.
have a lot of them, yes.
So I'll come back to you for them. But let me come to Captain Korte and find out from you. Those days, in terms of piracy, we used to hear the Horn of Africa, the Gulf of Aden. Now it's the Gulf of Guinea. What has happened?
You see, thank you for the question. Like I was saying previously, most of these things starts from the shore. And it is worth noting that the hottest of all the zones is Zone E. Nigeria, Benin, Cotonou. that is the hottest place.
Right.
And all these meetings, the maritime stakeholders meeting that we are having, it's not only for the coastal states.
Okay.
Even the landlord countries, like Mali, Niger, they are all part of this.
Yeah.
Burkina Faso, they are all part of it. Burkina Faso is in our zone, Zone F. Most of these Boko Haram insurgency, the Niger Delta stuff, you know, play a key factor in some of these things. Like we are saying, somebody goes out all the way from maybe the far countries, I don't want to mention names, they come into our region, they come to fish illegally.
Yeah.
Because they stay there for a long time, they might need somebody to give them fuel because they cannot call any port.
Yeah.
Because they are dealing in an illegality. Somebody finds a ship, puts some fuel on it, meets these fishing boats, transfer the fuel for them. That is also illegal bunkering on itself. Now, because it's an illegality, it cannot land the ship in a port. It has to stay at sea.
Yeah.
So a reefer boat, what we normally call a carrier vessel, a refrigerated cargo vessel, goes alongside this fishing boat, transships the fish that it has caught, illegal transshipment. The country is losing its tax component. They are doing an illegal stuff there. Some of them even engage in drug smuggling and all those stuff. Now, it's a chain. So once you don't break the chain, it continues. So what Chris Mao and Chris Mack are doing this, they are coordinating at the zonal level within the regions. And they report to the ICC, that is the Interregional Coordinating Center, which is in Yaoundé.
Okay. Cameroon.
Cameroon. Yeah. So ICC is on the top, and Chris Mao and Chris Mack are down gathering on the local level, on the zonal level. So once there is an insecurity within the region, they coordinate. It is worth noting also that in March this year, from 7th to 19th, we had an exercise, Ubangami Express, which included all the navies within the sub-region.
Right.
Scenarios were coming from oil spills, IEU, hijacking, a lot. So over the 8 days, we were able to coordinate within us. It included the American Navy, the French, the Danish. We are having support even from the EU to do those things. And a lot was shared. Last 2 weeks, we were in Abidjan just to have the maritime stakeholders meeting on the challenges and the way forward. And it was just interesting. It was just interesting. And we shared a lot.
Right.
And it gives us comfort and relief that at least if there are issues, we have somewhere that we can go to.
Yeah.
And some of the challenges that were faced were brought onto the table. The navies are doing a lot, let me be honest with you.
Right.
First quarter of last year, from IMB, piracy and hijacking.
That's International Maritime Bureau.
Yeah, within the region was 40. First quarter of this year, 0.
Wow.
So that tells you that a lot
is being done.
Is being done. And we need to congratulate our navies and our men who goes out there, risk their life to ensure that there is sanity in our waters, so that some of us will still have some job to do. Thank you.
All right, so I'll come back. When I come back, I'll be finding out from Captain Kwesing, the Denmark and the Italian frigates, what role they played, if you followed their presence in our waters, and whether we actually achieved anything whilst they were here. But let me go on to the lines again. Good evening, once again, Monsieur.
Good evening, my friend.
Great. We are glad to have you back. Now, you catalog some of the challenges that ports in West and Central Africa are grappling with. And your secretariat is clothed with a mandate to get these challenges addressed. What are some of the steps you are taking to get these issues addressed, to bring some relief to the ports, to member ports, so to speak?
As the captain are explaining, they play a real role regarding to some of the piracy, some of the difficulty you have in our water. They play always this role. But they play this role based on the fact that you have some of a meeting to share all those experiences and how to fight against all those difficulties we have in our region, to how to say to be sure that our region is really secure. So PIMOCA Secretariat, the strategy to address them is sometimes to continue to ensure that these issues are discussed at the level of PIMOCA's technical committees. And as I said that you were in the Tema last week to discuss about that one. HARBOUR Masters Network discussed about that one also. It is really good. And you have to implement all the discussion, the recommendation will come from our discussion. And certain cooperation also with international structure, such as he said also, ECOWAS, ECAS, African Union, World Bank, and AU also to address them. Currently, rounding the IPQA. IPQA is for digitalization. IPQA project, we've promptly must but to internationally begin to digitalize their operation. We also conduct appropriate studies of some of these issues. Now we are working about sustainability part. So you detect some of the key players in our ports, which are experts, and they work on it. You have also identified 15 at the beginning, 15 issues, but you synthesize 4 issues, and you are working on it to be sure that you can face with all those difficulties. The one is air quality for our region. You know, you have some of the cement.
So let me come to you, Captain Kwesing, and find out from you. The Netherlands frigates, the Italian frigate, when they were in our waters, did we achieve anything significant in terms of what they came to do?
The resolutions from the network.
Right.
There was one important one which I need to say here.
Please
I want to put on record.
Please
the
do.
strengthening of human capacity.
Okay.
We realize that for we in Ghana and Nigeria, we have the human resource. Okay, but for our friends for the Francophone countries, their manpower base is thin, and as such, the Home Master may not be a mariner. They appoint people into these offices without getting the right people. So when we meet at the network meeting, the deliberations doesn't hit the ground.
Right.
Okay? So we were looking at, you see, most ships that call West Africa, like the Grimadi ships, they have Gandhi Tema, Gandhi Lagos, Gandhi Abidjan. They name their ships after our ports.
Right.
Means that there's something in West Africa which they know. And as such, and their ships are monster ships. So they'll need a confident pilot to man those ships into the port. As my brother said, voyages are planned, but they start from a port and end the port. Before the voyage is done, it's deemed done. So we realize that we need to encourage the training of manpower development. When we leave this issue to our administrators, they may not know the dynamics in which we require to upgrade and grow in the profession. To be a competent pilot, to navigate that ship into the port, you must have experienced it, felt it. Simulation is good, but when you spend life on the ship, it is critical. That's why we, in our profession, there's always sea surface.
Right.
Okay? The schools are training. We have a lot of manpower in our region, and that's why we were looking at where PIMOCA will have a say, a unified say that ships that call our region should be encouraged to employ some of our cadets, our degree holder cadets, to have CTEM and develop and build the capacity for their use. It is in their interest to have a competent harbour master who knows how to deploy marine resources in getting the job done.
Right.
Okay. So manpower development is key.
Very key.
We talk about how we handle the COVID.
Yes. I'll come to you for that, but I understand
Okay.
Monsieur is back on the
Monsieur
line,
is
so
back,
let me go
okay.
back to Monsieur
Okay.
and the final. Monsieur, welcome back.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yes, I think technology is playing tricks.
Michael was on mute.
Technology is playing tricks on us this evening, but we are glad that we have you back. And in talking about technology, I just want to find out from you how far the ports in West and Central Africa have come in their quest to digitalize, in their quest to inject some element of technology into their operations. We can't talk about resilient ports without technology.
Yes, you are right. When we are talking about technology, but you know that you cannot follow every time what abroad or European people they are teaching us. You know, here also what you have to look at is that you have some of manpower and they are supposed to be employed and to so to be work. What we are doing now about the technology is to train them, to have a capacity building, to use some of a computer. Because when we are talking about digitalization, that means that you have to avoid human action. Human action we avoid is that all the hard documents are supposed to be numerized. This one they are supposed to know and they have to deal with, they have to work on it. This is the kind of a technology you are training, and that's why you have our training center in Lomé, in Cotonou, and you do that one. And at support level also, they have the IT manager, they play that role as well. What you have to do is to let them know that this is a new challenge and you have to follow to be sure that you have. But talking about technology is not only that one. You know that in some of ports, you have done some of checking. In some of ports, the problem of digitalization is based of energy. They haven't got power. It's difficult to ensure that. And right now we are talking about you have this virtual meeting. You are facing with connection, and it's a real problem also you are facing with. So it's true that you have to digitalize, but you have to be sure that all the basic things you have already on ground, and then you can move on. This is what I can say in addition of what I have already said.
Okay, so I just want to find out from you what PIMOCA is doing to ensure that ports in West and Central Africa operate, according to standards, according to best practice. There must be a way where they can do this in order to deliver efficient and effective services to their clients. Do you have anything of such, rolled out by the Secretariat?
Yeah, for the Secretariat, the main action you are supposed to play is that how to call all the stakeholders, all the port officers to discuss about. If you take, for example, Ghana, the level of digitalization is well advanced compared to the port for Gambia, for example. So we have to teach them how they have to digitalize all those systems there. And if they have some of the difficulty, as I mentioned earlier, like power, all those ones, how to do it. To be resilient, now you are talking that you are moving on the new energy, for example, solar energy, to be sure that even they cannot use another energy, but solar energy, they can try to have that one in backup and to be sure that they can work with this one as well. This is some of challenges you are facing with, but you have to solve that one by discussion, by having some of technical committee to share best practices.
All right, let me ask you the last question so that we can allow you to go so that we come in studio and then conclude. And that has to do with the increased, cost of shipping. That's one thing that a lot of people are complaining about. I just want to find out from you whether PIMOCA has put in some measures to ensure that they address this particular challenge, to bring some relief to importers and exporters, in Western Central Africa.
You are talking about shipping charges.
Yes, yes.
Yes, shipping charges. I think PIMOCA has also begun a discussion on this issue with major players such as Shippers Council. Last year, you discussed with Nigerian Shippers Council. One of the effects is that empty container, for example, they charge that one. And you try to harmonize the prices. The price they have, for example, in Abidjan is really different of the price they have in Ghana, different of the price they have in Lagos, for example. and some of country is really high. How to harmonize that one and to reduce costs? This is one of the challenges you are facing when you are working on it to be sure that PMOCA can play its role and to ensure importers are not impacted negatively our trade.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary General Jean-Marie Kofi, Secretary General Ports Management Association of West and Central Africa, for joining us all the way from your base this evening on Iron Port. We're grateful to you. We know that as and when we need your attention, we would always call you, and you would be gracious enough to oblige us. We're grateful to you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Great. So we'll go for a break now. This is Iron Port here on Metropolitan Television, and tonight we're discussing how to build a resilient port to stimulate economic growth in West and Central Africa. And we are discussing with Captain James Kwesing, who is the Harbour Master, Port of Takoradi. He's also the president of the PMOCA Harbour Masters Network. Also in the studios, Captain Daniel Korte, Deputy Harbour Master, Port of Tema. And there are those who are leading the discussion. When we come back, we'll continue. And Captain James will be telling us how they were able to dribble COVID, when it first came out.
Every now and again, GOIL makes good things happen. This time, GOIL has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. GOIL Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. GOIL Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. GOIL Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with GOIL Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. GOIL has that sorted. GOIL, good energy.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water. Or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Impressive factory. If only I had listened to you, I wouldn't have been in this mess. That devastating fire virtually wiped out the whole factory and my warehouse. Remember my misfortunes last year? Serene Insurance Asset All Risk Fire policy that I took were there to pay for my damaged stocks in the warehouse. And my machines that were affected by the floods have been replaced. My accident vehicle is back on the road thanks to Serene Insurance motor policy. Suddenly my goods are on the high seas, covered with their marine cargo insurance policy. I was just telling Ajima about Serene Insurance.
Oh, Ajima,
tell him more.
As a road contractor, I make sure I do my contractors all risk insurance for the projects and then workers' compensation for all the workers on site. With Serene Insurance, they will make sure they will cover your unknown tomorrow today.
Serene Insurance, a new face of insurance. Call us now.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
All right, so you're welcome back. We are going back to Captain Kwesi. He was about enumerating some of the issues that they listed or the recommendations that they made during the Harbour Masters Network meeting when we had to go and pick the Secretary General of PIMUCA. And he's back. I've also been told that we can activate the phone lines now, and so the number to dial is 020-552-8353, 020-552-8353. You can call in and contribute to the discussion. Captain, yes, let's flow.
Kennedy, I'm always a good student, so I'll not skip the question on the role of the multinationals, army, navies in our waters.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, let me do a quick one on that. Patrolling our sovereign waters is our duty. It should be done by every nation,
right, which
we are doing our best. But when multinationals find out that our region is unsafe for global business, and they come and assist, they are welcome. That's as they did in Somalia. They went in there, and then we made sure that when anybody who goes out and knows that when you are coming, somebody is there waiting for you. There's a global picture. Everybody is scared. Nobody wants to go there and then they drop a bomb on you. So that's how come Somalia was handled. And then when they come to our region, France have a lot of colonies in Africa and then West Africa, and as such, if they come and help police our waters, it's good. And also the Kingdom of Denmark. You know, MPS, Denmark, by virtue of AP Mola, they are partner of MPSO, and then they have a lot of commercial business in our waters, so why not?
That's important.
Yes, it's important that they... And you know, in the global supply chain, fish, they migrate across from West Africa all the way to Americas and back. So the marine ecosystem in West Africa, when it is protected, it lost in their interest.
Right.
Because the fishes also migrate, they go as the current flows and come back, and then as they grow, as they migrate, they feed, and then they increase in sizes for world consumption. Okay. Now let me take my question now.
Yes.
COVID was a pandemic. It dawned on us all of a sudden, and then Harbour Masters were receiving the ships. And government gave declarations, gave directives, and how we implemented them was excellent. My network, we shared a lot of ideas, and sometimes you have a WhatsApp call, we have a WhatsApp platform, asking you what should be done. There's a vessel arriving with COVID, what should be done, and we share best practices, and then some of my colleagues talk about they nearly losing their job. I said, no, when you professionally do your job, you shouldn't lose your job under any pressure. But we've done very well. We've done very well, and then we've networked the platform, and then the knowledge sharing. We've done very well. We handled COVID, and we are still raising ourselves in the challenge. We talk about collaboration with stakeholders, stakeholders in the health chain. You need to be engaging them, and then you all have a common position on the subject. If it comes that way, then you are all at peace. You are all on the same wavelength. You can deliver. I shared what we did in Ghana Port, where a unit was set up, the port F was there, how the ships are declared their arrival, how port F goes to clear them at the anchorage, and how we handle the PPEs we put in place. We did very well, and then they've taken up that on board, and then they're going to handle that very well. We also shared the knowledge of how to handle dangerous goods. You know, Beirut was in Lebanon, but we had one at Apiate, and then we shared that experience, how the dangerous goods are segregated, how they are conveyed, how they are escorted. And in TAKORADI port, we have a team that validates every dangerous goods. We monitor them closely until we have a team where declaration is done. The various stakeholders, Minerals Commission, Customs, Marine Police, they are all on the checklist. And when they are all cleared, they've consented to that particular vessel, then only Harbour Master bears the vessel. And then the logistics chain is take them and they patrol them. Even that boat is on board to where they are stored, and nothing should happen in the course of transferring dangerous goods from our port to the destination. So yes, we've done that.
All right. Great. Let me come to Captain Kote. We cannot talk about resilient ports without also talking about the marine environment and how to keep it clean and tidy. And so I just want to find out from you, your role as Harbour Masters, what are some of the things that you do to ensure that vessels do not wash or clean their propellers or, hulls in our waters?
Thank you, Mr. Bernard. You see, like I said previously, we are governed by a lot of codes and guidelines from IMO and all the respective bodies. For example, there is this MAPOL, International Marine Pollution Convention, which guides us as to how we conduct our business to ensure that nobody pollutes the waters.
Yeah.
Every vessel that needs to do those things applies or needs the consent of the harbor master.
Right.
So he will put into writing an application. If it is a vessel that is within our waters, that trades here most of the time, we don't have a problem because it's still within the same ecosystem.
Right.
We don't have a problem. We can sanction it to go ahead. Okay. But if it is a vessel coming from a foreign place, then that means it is importing something into our water, and we will not allow that. Those things are supposed to be done in dry docks. But because they want to avoid the extra cost, and they do not want to spend time in their repair yard, they feel comfortable doing it in the ports. So some of these things we look out for. And if they do not seek the permission of the harbor master and they do that, it contravenes the bylaws of the port.
Right.
And so we will institute a fine on you. The GPHA has tolls and fines, and in that schedule, there is a respective fine for that. Anyhow, cleaning of the hull and the propellers is not the only way that vessels pollute our waters. Even ballast water.
Yeah.
There is a management guideline from IMO which ships are supposed to comply with. See, when a ship comes to port and discharges the cargo, it becomes light. So when it is leaving that port to another port, it needs to take in some amount of ballast. That ballast can be solid. When I say solid, in the olden days, that they didn't have ballast tanks. They were using heavy blocks, cement blocks or something. They put them on the ship just as cargo to help you maintain stability. Because when you are light at sea, you know, you have a lot of challenges because you are not staunch. So currently, what they do is we take ballast water. But per advice of IMO, per advice of the ballast water management plants, and from the inception of the voyage till the completion of the voyage, you need to change the ballast water that you have taken.
Right.
In the ocean, so that you are assured that you are not transporting anything. Maybe they took the ballast from Tema port. When they sail off, maybe going to Brazil, in international waters, they need to change the water. And there are different ways of doing it. So the chief mate, who is the deputy of the master, needs to calculate the stability.
Right.
So throughout the passage, he can then advise, okay, we are going to do complete flow through, or we are going to pump out and pump in.
Right.
But that is dependent on the weather that we are going to envisage throughout the journey. The stability criteria of the vessel, you are going to burn fuel, you are going to use water, you are producing water also. So he takes all these things into consideration and ensures that the vessel arrives at the next port to load the cargo safe. So it will be dependent on this for him to push up this.
Right.
When you arrive in the port, for example, in Ghanaian ports, we have the Food and Drugs Authority. They help us by taking samples of the ballast water that you bring in. Then we will know whether it is safe for you to pump that water out in our ports. For example, in Ghana, Tema port is mostly an import port.
Yes.
TAKORADI is mostly an export port. So we get a lot of ballast pump out in TAKORADI.
Right.
Because the bulk carriers are coming to load manganese, or they are coming to load bauxite. So they have voluminous amount of seawater that they have taken aboard the vessel to make sure that she's staunch for the voyage.
Right.
Now arrival port, she needs to let go of that one and take the cargo, replace it with cargo. So it needs to pump it out.
Right.
So the Food and Drugs Authority, during the formalities, when the ship bets and they are clearing air inward, they go through all the processes. And you are either giving the thumbs up or not.
Right.
So if it is not safe, then you have to look for tankers, road tankers, that will come and take those water out at a fee, which is very expensive.
Right.
So if you normally do your ballast water exchange at sea, then there will be not the necessity for you to do this.
Okay. Right. Okay. Some messages have come in, but I just wanted to come in with the issue of handling of dangerous cargoes by dangerous goods by the member ports. And I think that we can understand that some of them lack standard operating procedures in terms of handling such goods. So I just wanted to find out what the network was doing to assist member ports to be able to handle these things effectively so that we don't run into problems.
Yeah, Kennedy, we have shared best practices with all the network members. Currently, I even have to share my SOP with Cabo Verde.
Okay.
The gentleman came and he said, no, it was good. Since I became president, they've not, they are Lusophone.
Right.
So when they come, their challenges with their language was changeable. Sure. So yes, we've shared best practice, our SOP. The last time I was on Zoom meeting, also with Pimoka, and I shared how we handle dangerous goods. Yeah. You know, in Ghana, we have done it many, many times. Right, and even the post-aperitif case have brought a lot of energy, a lot of groups on board, and then we've advanced past what we were doing before, you know. So yes, we share best practices, and then they are all coming on board full speed with the SOPs that we have. Yes, that's what the network is.
So we're going into the inbox now. This one says, I am Sylvia from Tema. Can your guest confirm whether or not we have robust ports in Africa?
We do. You see, because of what we put in place, I can talk for Ghana ports. The security, the collaboration with the stakeholders, making sure that our port is not attacked. Our ports are safe for ships to come in. You know, the port is an economic area. Yeah. So our ISPS implementation, with GPHA, we are on top. Yeah. With the U.S. Coast Guard, it's always policing our ports. With GMA, it's always making sure that we comply strictly with the ISPS code. Yeah. And as such, robust in terms of security, we are on top. Right. In terms of manpower, we are okay. We are very okay. Ghana ports, even I am part of the OHSE committee, Organizational Health and Safety. We've done a lot in terms of recovery. In case of any incident in the port, backups, off-site locations where the port can easily work. We've done all that, and then we are very, very robust. In terms of, for Ghana Ports and Harbour Authority, I can speak with a chest out.
Our robustness.
With a chest out that, yes, we are very, very ready.
Is there anything that Captain Kote?
Well, just to compliment my boss, what he said, let the lady know that they are safe when they are trading with our ports. Right. Because let me tell you, during the exercise of Bangami, the scenario for the port authority was oil spill. And in Tema, we have 5 ASD tugboats that are FIFI classed, that are oil spill control crafts, and each has got about 300 meters of boom with skimmers and all that stuff. Right. So when any ship comes into the port, or even there is an oil spill within our waters, we take control of that. Right. We take control of that. MPS Terminal 3 is a 2-star port. It has green port status, which even some ports in Europe do not have. Yeah. Our pilots, they are top-notch. Their dexterity, you cannot compare. Right. We benchmark ourselves with the top class. Right. That is why my boss was saying that we need to motivate the young ones, build the manpower. Because if you have witnessed it, when you see it, you know what to do. Right. Because a harbour master is not somebody who should lack decision. Right. You should be top-notch. Right. Once the issue happens, it starts flowing like that, like you're singing a song. Yeah. You don't need to be asking, what do I need to do? What? No.
At the spur of the moment, you should,
They just should be coming like that. Right. So they should be rest assured. Right. We are in charge and we are in control.
Captain, I think that you take this last question. It says,
hello. Then he talked about the marine environment. Yes. The environment is universal. Whatever you dump in the sea in Tema, you may think it is gone. It will flow to Lomé and to come back at you. Yeah. So as harbour master and as a chairman of the network, they call me president of the network. Yeah. When I deny any vessel in Tema, that vessel should run to Lomé and get the job done. Yeah. When I see this vessel want to do hull cleaning or want to do anything which I think will damage the environment, it shouldn't run to next port Abidjan and get it done. I should have a good platform to share with my colleague in Abidjan that this ship requested for this, and because of this, I have declined. So that he will also be armed to make sure that the ship doesn't. Nobody should come and pollute our waters at our blind side. Right. He avoids Tema and goes to Lomé and get it done.
All right. We are running out of time. Just within 30 seconds. Hello, I'm Paul. Great topic for discussion. Please, can you ask your guest how one can become a harbour master? I really admire their job. Maxwell from Takoradi. Fortunately, this one comes from Takoradi, but we don't have enough time. So what we'll do is that we'll get your response and give it to Maxwell during the average version on Wednesday at 8:30 on GTV. But we don't have enough time. I think we've run out of time. So,
thank you very much.
Viewers, we thank you so much. This is where we draw the curtain on Iron Port tonight. Remember, we've been discussing how to build resilient ports to stimulate economic growth in West and Central Africa. Our guests in the studios are being Captain James Kwesing, Harbour Master Port of Takoradi, and President of the Port Management Association West and Central Africa, PMOCA Harbour Masters Network. Also in the studios, Captain Daniel Kote, Deputy Harbour Master, Port of Tema. Also joining us on the line was Jean-Marie Kofi, Secretary General, PMOCA. We thank you so much for joining us. Next week, God willing, we shall bounce back with another wonderful edition of Iron Port here on Metro Television. Remember, the abridged version is aired every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. on Ghana Television. My name is Kennedy Mona. Kudos to our sponsors, Ghana Revenue Authority, Gold Company Limited, Serene Insurance, indeed to Meridian Port Services and Ghana Link Network Services. The show is powered by the Ghana Port and Harbours Authority. Have a great evening and keep watching our programs.